Let's continue with our lecture 1, part 2. Declaration of variables. So the syntax to declare a new variable in C++ is straightforward. We simply write a type followed by the variable name. So identifier. Like here in this example, we write type int and variable name a using valid identifier. And then in this line, type is float and name of the variable my name. So this line and this line, they are declaration of variables. Assignment operator. The equal sign operator is called the assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to assign values to variables. Example, here in this line we assign a value 5 to variable a, and here in this line we assign a value 2 to variable b. And in the third line we assign expression a plus 1 to variable a, and here we assign to variable a result this expression a minus b. Initialization. When the variables are declared, they have an undetermined value until they are assigned a value for the first time. But it is possible for a variable to have a specific value from the moment it is declared. This is called the initialization for the variable. So syntax to do initialization. Type, then identifier, here goes name of our variable, then equal sign and initial value. And we finish with semicolon. Example, type of variable integer, so we write int, then goes name of our variable a, equal sign, and the value, initial value for our variable a. Initial value is equal to 10. Comments. C++ supports two ways of commenting code. The first, for just one line, we use 2/. But when we need to comment a big part of our program, we put this block of our program inside this slash, then asterisk, then goes all our operators that we want to comment, and then asterisk and slash. Structure of C++ program. Example. First of all, we include this line to work with print and out of our variables. Then int main, this is the main function of C++ program, and we put our code inside here in our function main between these two curly braces. So we always write here declaration of variable, assigning value, operators displaying on the screen. Example, so let's write our first program. Let's consider this first very short program line by line. The first line, this comments. Remember, we use 2/ to comment just one line. So our comment is my first program in C++. The second line, include e of string. We'll speak about it later. And here start our main function, int main, and we put our code is just one line here. So we print out this cout function to display some information on the screen, and we print this line, hello world. And please note, we put this line when we want to display some text on our screen, we put it between double quotes. So we have code inside our two curly braces. We have only one line. The header file include E of stream is included for standard input-output function. So we have here cout output function. Cout is used for displaying data on the screen. Using namespace std. The above declaration, this one, allows all elements in the std namespace to be accessed without std prefix. So let's rewrite our program, the same program that was above, using this line, using namespace std. We put it here, and now we don't need to use this prefix std. We just write cout. The same program, but here we displaying on the screen two parts of text. The first one, hello world, and the second, I'm a C++ program, using output function cout. Arithmetic operators. They are operators of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These four corresponds literally to their respective mathematical function. And modular operator, represented by a percentage sign, gives the remainder of a division of two values. Let's consider example. X is equal 11 modulo 3. When we divide 11 to 3, the answer will be 3, but the remainder is 2. So our variable x will have value 2. Mathematical function in C++. You may use mathematical function in C++. They are, for example, inverse cosine, where x is between -1 and +1, and returns value in radians in range from 0 to p. This mathematical function is inverse sine, where x is between -1 to +1 and return value in radians in range from 0 to p. This one, inverse tangent, returns value in radians in range -p divided by 2 to p divided by 2. Cosine returns cosine of x in radians. Sine returns sine of x in radians. Tangents return tangent of x, where x in radians. Exponential function e to power x. Natural logarithms of x, base e, where x greater than 0. Square root of x, where x greater or equal to 0, and absolute value of x. To use this mathematical function in C++, we need to include this file, math.h, to any program that is going to use any function from this library. So we need to include this line in our program. Let's consider one example, one task from practical work 1. Let's consider this program line by line. Here in the first line we include this to use function for output and input. And here the second line we include this library math because we are going to use here our function cosine, absolute value and logarithms. Then we include this line using namespace std not to use this prefix std and just to use like this cout, and cout here. And here starts our main function. So we put our code between these curly braces, this opening curly brace and here closing, and we put our code here between them. This line here we declare two variables, the name of variable x and name of variable f, and type of these two variables float. Why float? Because x is equal 0.2, so it's not integer number, it's number with a point, so we need to have float here for x. And when we find cosine and so on, the answer will be float. Now the answer will be number with a point, so f will be of float type. So we declare like this in one line separated by comma float x comma f. The second line here we assign this value 0.5 to our variable x. Next line here we just display on our screen this text. When we want to display text, we put this text between double quotes. So on our display we'll see on our screen lab 1, and then we use function for output cout, and here goes manipulator. We'll speak about manipulators later, but it causes that we start to see out the next value or next text starting from the new line. So it means just that we go on the new line on our screen. And then in this line we find out our f. We have this expression, and here we use function cosine, function for absolute value, function for logarithms, and here again function to find absolute value. And we find the result of this expression. So I remind you that for using this mathematical function we include here this line or this library, and then we use output function cout to display our result on the screen. So, and then we go on the new line, but it's necessary here. So we consider this practical work. And now thank you for attention. Goodbye. See you.